afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast. I'm your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero, Strike Defender of the Fatherland, off here to 1 vs 1 on Holot, the Family Machine West. We got Chessmaster fighting here for the Soviet Union and for the 20th Tank Corps. Task clearing out the position here, being helped by the Germans under the command of Icemanjoker, fighting here for Germany, Deutschland, and the 4th SS Panzergrenadier Division Polizei with Spearhead, Lightning Roar, and Festung Armor versus Chessmaster's Armored Assault, Guard Motor, and Partisan Tactics. We got a Penal Trooper start there with the Special Rifle Command there for him, so that'll be some heavy infantry sort of sets up there with Icemanjoker going for more conventional Grenadier MG42 start there. Nothing wrong in that one though. Tends to be one of the more reliable starts as the Wehrmacht. There you go, Strafniki there. In terms of doctrines, I mean, overall for Icemanjoker, it's a lot more in a sense conventional, you know, bunch of stuff there, calling big tanks later on to an extent. There for Chessmaster though, there's a lot more sort of options there. There's some that sort of emphasis on a lot of tanks, heavy and medium, more medium, but also with guard support and heavy mortar. Fun here, sort of more nasty gameplay there with Partisan and anti-tank part, which also allows you to play more actively, but also exploit more actively by just saying having a Partisan squad appearing at the right, really unpleasant timing. But why going down there? Probably these two, they're going to be suiting best here thanks to the Penal Trooper start, which means he's got no real sort of anti-tank otherwise, meaning he's going to have to rely initially on guards most likely, or Partisans. So again, that's probably sort of what's more likely to happen. I mean, he could still go armored assault tactics, but at the current state, it seems unlikely unless there's sort of a swing there in his tactics and strategy. Grenadier Squad number 2 there, arriving for Icemanjoker. Also noting infantry, Panzer IV, MG42 bulletins there versus infantry and Maxim bulletins. Yet again, no special support company there for Chessmasters, focusing on the north there so far. Whereas Icemanjoker saying southwards there, wiring off a bit here and there. Grenadiers grabbing the point. We got MG42 covering from the church. Might want to set up better direction there. Jürgen, and maybe the other side, you know, they might actually attack from there. Nah, I like this side. I like it. It's very nice and sunny. That's not what you're supposed to be watching for. More Penal Troops here. That's a pretty Penal Trooper heavy start there from Chessmaster. One squad here occupying around the centre. Grenadiers under 5 from the Penal Troopers SVT-40 semi-automatic rifle, which the Germans would later, by the way, copy and design to create the G43, or at least utilise the design a lot there, because they themselves really didn't know how to make a semi-automatic rifle. The first attempt, the G41, turned out to be kind of rubbish. There we go, now the MG42 in the church pointing towards the sunny side. Might have been useful at this point, a bit too late here. So there goes, sneak up behind here, Icemanjoker with the Penal Troopers, heavily aggressively armed there with the semi-automatic rifles, which was actually intended to equip the entire Soviet army, but by the time the war hit, they weren't ready, so only a few sort of units here and there would, for example, be heavily equipped with them. Interesting enough, units like naval infantry, for example, fighting in Sevastopol, were heavily equipped with SBT-40 rifles, to my understanding. A fun fact there. Grenadiers on the fire from the Strafniki. We got a scout car on the way there for Chessmaster. Penal Troopers sneaking through here. Might try to go through here to support the push here towards the cutoff point. By the way, they're slightly besides the ability to actually cover. They just move slightly more to the west. They would actually cut off the cutoff point there and deny Icemanjoker a bit of fuel and resource in the early game. But looks like he's a bit more preoccupied with just other bits elsewhere. Scout car almost down there for Chessmaster and the 20th Tank Corps. Grenadiers taking losses. Scout car there arriving. Penal Troops are gaining a few kills, but overall, well pushed back. Again, they need to get to cut off the point there, so that was not a good engagement there for Chessmaster. Scout coming up there, we got him for 2 firing there. Ooh, could get a wipe there, but no. Gets away by the looks of it. Sliver of health. Tiny sliver of health. But Yuri makes it. Down south here, Pioneers rolling back pretty quickly. We got 3 Grenadiers, 1 infantry up there for Icemanjoker, and we've got Tech up there, so like to make a nice company will probably be next here for Icemanjoker and the 4th SS. Panzergrenadier Division Polizei, so named because initially at least the recruits actually came from the German police as part of a bargain to free up a lot of manpower from the police roughly before the war began. About the time the war began, because there were a lot of people in the German police and they figured there was a bit too many hiding around there which could do better work in the army. And part of that was in part creating the 4th SS there. Panzergrenadier Division, that's one place for them to go. Others were sent in towards security divisions and others freed up to army units direct, I believe. So a little fun fact there, MG14 pushed back here. Penal Troopers up north, we got Grenadiers standing about there. Penal Troopers pushing forward with flamethrowers. There you go. Chessmaster really getting some nasty action there versus any units in cover. Gas was there from Icemanjoker in the south. And units moving ahead. Moving forwards there with the troops. Almost got the cut-off point this time around. In which case, again, he will be able to deny Icemanjoker resources. Like to make a nice company going up. They're going to use healing, reinforcing with MD4 troopers as well. Scout Cup Panzerfaust there from an unexpected angle. And Beatles with their tank from inside the church, getting off some good hits, but there you go. That Scout Car's going to go down. At the same time, Grenadiers out negative cover, are taking heavy damage. Almost wiping out the Grenadiers. He's going to go for the Panzerfaust nonetheless. I'm not entirely sure that's going to be worth a full Grenadier squad. In this case, he would have popped up the penal troops actually pursued, in which case he might actually have gotten at least one Grenadier squad wiped, if not both, in which case that would have been GG there for Icemanjoker. I mean, 2 Grenadier squads at the 5-6 minute mark. There's going to be a huge blow that's going to be very difficult for the Germans to get back from. In the south here, we've got points being grabbed. You got engineers rushing back. He might actually be planning to take up now then. Himself. Pioneer slowly scouting ahead there. MG42 moving forward as well. And Grenadiers are healing reinforcing. He could go for light machine guns, except he doesn't have the munitions for it.
Scout car has arrived.
Does not have the munitions for it at all. We got the 222 there on the way. Leichte Panzer Speerwagen. Going there to recapture the cut-off point. Penal troopers standing about there, hiding a bit around. Icemanjoker, I think, making a wise move and actually strike northward, since most of the chess masters have turned around centre-south. And again, the thing to keep out, I mean, the penal troopers sort of heavy build there, it does also mean, while it does pack more punch, it can't so easily control the map in some departments, especially if it does focus on certain parts of the map. And it means it'll be strong there, but again, there'll be large parts of the map which will be very open, and that so far there it seems like Icemanjoker has realised and is now pursuing. And we actually know he's actually gone for the support room company and the Maxim, so he could in theory actually then go for armoured assault, since then he'd actually also be able to get to the more organic anti-tank easily. So only a bit rare to see a player go for the special rifle command into the support room company. It's not impossible, but it's generally not what most players commonly go for. They generally choose to go for either one of those and then use call-in infantry to sort of fill out the gaps. Also noting there, that's why I can't get the light machine gun up easily. There's a telemine right there. Not a bad position for a telemine, by the way. Mines moves up there in case Chessmaster was laying down mines. Good foresight there by Icemanjoker. Though Chessmaster has actually not been laying down mines again. He's really pouring every resource he's got into the penal troopers at the moment. Again, a lot of flamethrowers, which again will make it hard for Icemanjoker just to hold up positions. To do, they're heading northwards. We could get Panzer Grenadiers here from Icemanjoker. That would not be a bad idea. I mean, now he's seen the Maxim, he knows any vehicles are not going to be immediately forthcoming. At least there's going to be a bit of a delay there. So in theory, Panzer Grenadiers could exploit a bit of a gap here against Chessmaster to a bit of damage. Of course, the penal troops can also do quite well with them. There you go, anti-tank Partisans. So he ends up going for them. In fact, he's already prepared for them with anti-tank grenades. That's pretty interesting. Actually, I didn't notice that. Might have just happened around that time, but that indicates he was actually planning Partisans all along. And definitely preparing for the Partisan tank hunters to arrive. And that's an interesting move there by Chessmaster. Certainly makes the supporting company a bit more of a perplexing choice slightly. I mean, the Maxim is still pretty good, and he, of course, does have a bunch of bulletins for it, but a part of me then would have think, he'd try and at least rush ahead for armour or vehicles, and, follow up with Partisans on top of that. Panzer Grenadier there, arriving for Icemanjoker, possibly responsive to the Partisans. Standing about there with the Raketen Panzerbuchsen. Northwards, we got penal troops there grabbing the point. They could consider laying down some flare trip mines with them. Oh wait, they can't actually. They lost those. They lost those, actually. But there you go, Panzer Grenadier out here with their assault rifles, their Sturmgewehrs, which actually saw quite a bit of testing there throughout the years before it was signed, except by the Führer. Though, of course, it was actually hidden from him, because initially when they proposed the design, he thought it was pretty stupid. It was only later he sort of went presented with a more final design in 1944, it kind of went, this is kind of good. But until then, it went on a sort of series of names, including Machine Karabiner and later Maschinenpistolen, which is also why some call it, for example, the MP44. Because, again, before it became the Sturmgewehr, it was the Maschinenpistolen 44. But again, that was basically sort of just a name given to it to disguise its true purpose. Little fun fact there. As the Führer had some funny ideas due to being a World War I infantryman, which rather made him believe a lot of stuff like, rifles tend to work. We don't need anything, more advanced than that. Demo charge, in which case the minesweeper turns out to be supremely handy, as that definitely means he avoids having his men blown to tiny chunks. So that was a close one, Otto. Yeah, imagine if he didn't have this minesweeper. Yeah, if he would have been blown to tiny chunks. Yeah, I don't like that. Me neither, actually.
Yes.
But no take-up yet here for Chessmaster. Good accurate Russian vehicles, of course. He might be planning on using this as the foundation alongside the parts and then sort of push straight to the third tier, the mechanized armor company, and begin rolling up T-34s and the likes there against Icemanjoker. I mean, that is possible. We'll of course have to see, but we've got some take-up there. Pack 40 on the way there for Icemanjoker, taking no chance. I mean, he does have Telemines down, but still, he is taking zero chances there versus his opponent. We got mines being ducked down there by the Partisans. Apparently they can do it while cloaked. I did not actually know that. But that certainly only further highlights the sheer utility of the Partisans. And he's still only gone for single anti-tank and not say, regular Partisan, which we use to surprise MD-42 crews and the likes and really give Icemanjoker a huge headache. And the South gun is advancing. Light machine gun in hand. We got a lot of penal troops there standing about. Got parts there being suppressed. As for the Partisan equipment, I mean, some people like to believe, they were never sort of really well equipped. Well, it depended on their mission. In some cases, they were really terribly equipped. Just barely any weapons, but just used to sweep mines. Other cases, though, they were actually surprisingly well equipped, better equipped than actually, regular troops, because in that case, they were sort of meant to be used as, assault infantry. So it would depend on sort of the purpose, the penal troops being put forward too. But again, it could vary. And again, depending on it, they could be really well equipped or absolutely terribly equipped. So a little fun fact there. Another maximum though from Chessmaster as he's taking up, has hit the tank battalion command, not saying no. An air half track, T-70, as you can see there. Penal troops being held here by the MD-42. Putting a stop there to Chessmaster's southern advance. And then off we got the other squad moving forwards there. Support McCall going up there for Icemanjoker. He's made good progress towards that. Good play there by him, though he has yet to choose a doctrine, make a decision towards anything there. Striking back at the victory points there pretty rapidly. U-42 got the pack forwarded there covering up.
You guys, listen to me if you want to live. Standing by. How can we help?
Grenadiers hunting away their veterans too. More light machine guns going up there for Icemanjoker's infantry now beginning to upgrade to more aggressively combat the rations. I mean, in theory, he could go for the Stuka, but he's probably not feeling too much pressure towards that. More likely is the Ostwind or the Panzer IV. Mines going down there. We can see that Chessmaster would need to prepare the centre for any assault there from Icemanjoker. Not a bad idea to roll just mine stuff there, but at the same time, it does feel like he's being perhaps a bit too passive regarding Icemanjoker. Which again is not really what he's equipped even his penal troops for. He's equipped, set up for more aggressive plays. But again, all of a sudden playing defensive with them strikes us a bit peculiar when we're using the maximum support penal trooper attacks, on the opponent. Also got a mortar up. Here's a maximum thing up. Here we got Panzer going to move forward. Could try and pop a bomb grenade there on the maxim. There we go. Geballte Ladung. Blowing up a lot of third units there, plus parts of the wall. Grenadiers are hitting a mine, taking several losses. Pioneers of the minesweeper spot the other mine there, laid down by Chessmaster. Back at base, nothing further going on there for Chessmaster. If we want to take up, you should certainly do it soon, or bring up some light armor soon to really pressure back there at Icemanjoker. But centrewards there, the Panzer gun is pushing forward, supported by other elements there from Icemanjoker. Penal troops sneaking up. They're shooting there. Down south, Grenadiers standing about. And over here, nothing further going on there. It's clearly he's aiming for the Panzer IV there for a bit of Panzerwaffen action against Chessmaster in the 20th Tank Corps. Mechanized Armor Company going up there for him. And we got Spearhead Doctrine there for Icemanjoker. Interesting choice there. And we got the Panzer IV there running for Icemanjoker. Not bad choice. Pretty standard choice in many ways. But there you go. It looks like Chessmaster indeed again intend to use this plus the tank hunter parts to base sort of push towards a as rapid as possible mechanized armor company. That at the same time the question would have been if you're not just gone for guards motor then, or well armored assaults that way, be able to then rush out T-3045s instead. But the Partisan does give him in some ways more flexibility, though he's only yet to use the anti-tank ones, not the regular Partisans. For example, here and then, for example, clear out an MG-42. There you go, T-3476 on the way there, but Icemanjoker's Panzer IV nonetheless hits the battlefield faster here than Chessmaster's tank.
We have a new Panzer IV.
So a bit they're rushing it out, and there you go. Panzerkampfwagen arriving. Pendleman machine gun on the way there. Up north, we got Grenadiers moving ahead. We got an engineer squad waiting there with penal troopers rushing forward to counter the German menace. Mortar firing away there, and MB-42 Grenadiers are fighting around the centre alongside Panzer Grenadiers. Grenadiers are repulsed, pushed back with heavy losses there. Panzer IV rushes forward, and at the moment, I mean, he's really only got the tank hunter Partisan to deal with the Panzer. The problem is right now they've got Panzer Grenadiers away, but still nonetheless pushing forward. So there you go. Fires a rocket, penetrates the Panzer IV. Panzer Grenadiers continue to cause havoc there. Penal troops are about to get wiped out. He needs to retreat. Might still be lost here though. Looks like he got lucky there. Parts moving up. They're going to pop up an anti-tank grenade here. Lands it on the Panzer IV. T-34 some success arrived as well there. Up top the Panzer Grenadiers firing away. They're almost hitting. But there you go. Got the Panzer Grenadiers running. Panzer IV falling back, falling up to cover it. Northwards, we've got Russians securing territory. They're back for the motherland. And there you go. Grenadiers by the centre victory point. Almost got it, but they're suffering there to machine gun and main gun fire. Close there, but they managed to pull off a bit of a small victory there. Troops healing reinforcing in the centre. Southwards, we got Grenadiers advancing as well. Last squad by the way, not to be upgraded yet, with the light machine guns. And there we go, we got a mortar half-track out there for Icemanjoker, the 257. Of course, they did also have a variant for the 251, and assuming they went for it because they already had a model they could repurpose from the first company of heroes. Rather than just, use the 251. There you go. T-34 on the 5 from the Pack 40. Almost dead there though. Northwards, we got Grenadiers advancing again, sneaking past, and always trying to pressure away and draw away some of Chessmaster's forces from the centre. Good work there, good work there. MB4 just up, we got people shooting up with the flamethrowers and some pretty mean aggression. Got Panzer IVs ready to send them running there. There we go, wipes out half the squad in a single shot.
Forces are capturing our supplies.
Nice work there. Up north, Grenadiers grabbing the victory point away there from Chessmaster and the 20th Tank Corps. Mortar fire landing down there, and the Grenadiers standing about here, still not upgraded. Got the tank hunter parts moving ahead. Penal troopers flanking in though. Nice work there, nice work there. Mortar half-track firing down there. In support of the Panzers. Almost got the penal troops up north there. Grenadiers continue to advance with the Panzer Grenadiers now following up. There's the second wave, if you will, though not really much of a wave, more just of a small splash. Panzer IV nonetheless pushing forward towards the centre. Grenadiers covering, and the half-track, of course, still east in support. T-34 they're taking hits from the Panzer IV, which is Veterans 1 with 18 kills already. Quite impressive. Their impact versus Chessmaster, who might be setting up here for another T-34. Could, of course, already now try to aim for the S-35. Or, considering it's only currently fighting against the Panzer IVs and likes an S-26, could do the trick just as well at a lower price point. Looking at the mid-game analysis damage-wise, Chessmaster's hit kills-wise, he's not too far behind there, but at the same time he's got no sort of big lead either. Army value-wise, so really close, but again, right here at the end, the slight lead here again, thanks to the mortar and the Panzer IV. There's a slight edge there over Chessmaster. Resource float-wise, they're pretty close to each other. Points held, again, reasonably close. There's a slight edge now to Icemanjoker. Again, in terms of many ways, I mean, they're both sort of reasonably close to each other. So no one's got a huge lead over the other, but again, sort of slightly edging in most cases towards Icemanjoker, because he's I think able to play the map better here than Chessmaster. So he's making some pretty good hits, despite Chessmaster having some otherwise pretty potent infantry. Though of course noting he's actually now lost one penal trooper squad. Also considering, I mean, he went for Partisan, but he hasn't really used it very actively. Again, he's not, for example, trying to take advantage of any sort of exposed support units by hitting them with Partisans, or trying to use the Partisans to wipe out retreating units. I mean, there's many ways that you can utilize Partisan doctrine to be an absolute real pain in the posterior to your opponent. So, I mean, there's a bit there who I suppose could work on. Again, he could have gone for Guards Motor, or even Armored Assault, at which point, again, he could have a T-35 at this point, in which case, again, Icemanjoker might have struggled a bit more with that than the T-34-76. But of course, I mean, there's still options. I mean, for overall, we're going to have to use the T-34, I think, more aggressively on the sides, try to push back. Icemanjoker there, try to surround and get more T-34s up, then try and launch a pincer attack. They're noting there's telemines up there, so that could actually pretty much give a pincer attack a bad day. And of course, in that regard, a minesweeper here would be a really good choice there for Chessmaster, but he's probably not expecting it. I mean, while I am seeing more and more VMAP players beginning to use telemines, it still seems like most players aren't really considering telemines to be a huge threat, which could prove to be quite a rude awakening there for Chessmaster once he hits a telemine, if he does. And if he does, then that pretty much means he's just attacking through this small area, which, if Icemanjoker plays his cards correctly, is just going to mean an absolute slaughter there of Chessmaster's tanks. So there's a lot there to consider, but again, Minesweeper then sort of more tanks and sort of try and more aggressively and mobilely attack the flanks and sort of try to outplay Icemanjoker through superior maneuvering and flanking that way, knocking out his units here and there, maybe then supporting the attacks occasionally with some Partisans, of course, more disruption, more chaos, further breaking up Icemanjoker's formation, that way making them even easier to handle. If you can do that, I think there's a good chance of Chessmaster sort of winning out of this, but again, if he just resorts now to brute force, things are looking less good, because so, I mean, Icemanjoker sort of, I think, handling the map quite nicely, attacking here and there, using telemines to make it harder for the opponent to use his tanks more freely. And in the case he doesn't, again, he's sort of got a pretty, I think, solid position, sort of dealing with them head on. If he were to go for Stuk, though, that would, I think, make it even stronger. As for trading out for Tiger, I mean, he could do it, but at the moment, I don't think it's so much of a gain that's lost, and again, would give Chessmaster more chance of getting into the game compared to just, you know, getting more armor up. In theory, he could even go for a Panther, and he would still probably be better off than just waiting for the Tiger. Otherwise, not so much else today. Again, I think Icemanjoker is all doing pretty well. So let's return to the fight here and see what happens next. Will Chessmaster bring up more T-34s? Will he go for tank destroyers? Will he aim for rocket artillery with the Katyusha? Partisan tank hops, they're caught by the Panzer Grenadiers and they're being dealt with swiftly and brutally. As the Germans really hated Partisans. Grabbing the northern fuel point away there again, we can sort of see again his posture sort of again defending the area around here, make it difficult for him to push through. At the same time, means the rest of the map is pretty unguarded. Again, it feels like Chessmaster perhaps went too fast on the defensive here than he should have. He tried to stay more aggressive versus Icemanjoker, who's now sort of, you know, exploiting it against, I think, Chessmaster quite nicely. Penal 2's coming northwards again, flamethrowers in hand, might be preparing for an offensive there. Got regular Partisans out now with PP840s. We've got mortar support in northern here. Grenadiers being pushed back there. Mortifier there against the Maxim crew there. Could use an incendiary barrage there to actually flush it out much more quickly and expediently and horrifically. Panther forming northward, T-34 forming slightly towards the centre. Got fragmentation bombs upwards there for Icemanjoker, which certainly offers a lot more potency if delivered correctly. He's also beginning to float quite a bit of manpower there, might want to spend it on catchers or, you know, more tanks. Chessmaster there bringing up a second T-34 penal troops repulsed there from the northern bits. The T-34 slow advancing towards the centre there, catching an MD-42. With Pack 40 supporting the MD-42, the T-34 has to fall back, and so do the Partisans working with the T-34. Overall, not the best situation there. He should basically, I think, give up and sort of immediate breakthroughs through the centre with a single T-34, and again focus more on the wings here of the map, you know, the sides, rather than the centre. Still almost done with the second T-34-76. Grenadiers arriving, closing in a veteran to flee there.
T-34 ready for combat.
Second T-34 they're arriving for Chessmaster. Panzers they're taking now step for the T-34, but still awfully close to the centre, then awfully close to the enemy anti-tank guns. In the north, maxing the repulsed as Icemanjoker, while it keeps Chessmaster tied down in the centre, is also pushing further aggressively in the north there. So nicely played there by Icemanjoker. We got one T-34 moving up. The problem is he's going to need both T-34s, so I think they have a good chance there versus that Panther 4. We do have the anti-tank parts here. He could also in theory use Mark vehicle there versus the Panther 4, which in conjunction with the anti-tank parts might work out there. Rough grenade off. Hits the other Panther squad moving up there. Lays on the smoke screen, allowing both the Grenadiers and the Panther 4 to safely withdraw. Nice work there. Mortar after gives off a few more shots there before rolling back itself. Pack 40 also pulling back here. We can see that Icemanjoker perhaps feels like he's pushed too far ahead, can't maintain such positions, and rather than fruitlessly trying to defend them. He actually pulls back, gives ground to Chessmaster, and perhaps tries to draw him into positions we can better defend from and do more damage to his opponent from as well. So nicely done there. T-34 being shot at a bit there. T-34 running up the centre. We still got the Pack 40 there. But right now, you could actually pop a Partisan squad right next to it and clear out the Pack 40, possibly even steal it. But Chessmaster's fine. Oh, there we go. He does pop it. A bit late, though, but still, he could be able to get the Pack 40 crew there, which would allow him to then rush through the centre. There we go. Almost got it. Almost got it. Push, comrades. Here we go. Stealing the Pack 40 there. Away from Icemanjoker, and that's always the danger there with parts. You really have to calculate your support weapons, you know, unsupported by infantry near stuff like buildings as well. I mean, one part of support there can easily give you a headache. So nice work there by Chessmaster. Nasty work though, but in theory nice. Obviously the German players really hate when that happens. Recruiting penal troopers again. He really wants that Pack 40. He wants to knight his opponent, but of course it's also just a really good anti-tank asset versus the Germans. So in that regard, it works out pretty nice. Parts there halted, so he's now got 2 Partisan squads, and actually he's got 3. One of them, one of them was basically the anti-tank crew. Of course, got run off. Still need to counterattack from the north. One T-34 could do it with a bit of Partisan support. The other T-34 is going to need repairs though. Got troops heading south was their lone engineer who suffered a bit there. And now he's about to wreck the shed there. My God, it's a shed! I never would have suspected. Open fire! I want to see shed ruined! Couldn't we just light it on fire? Yeah, but who's got any matches nowadays? Just blow it to bits. North here, penal troops there supported. Pushing straight into the Grenadiers. T-34 following up quickly, and there we go. Wipes them up, machine gun drop, pick it up. Bad news there for Icemanjoker, but at the same time he can now go for the Tiger. Chessmaster again, I feel it was a bit too defensive there, a bit too passive, which has allowed Icemanjoker there to call up a Tiger from a nearby Schwere Panzerabteilung, which is where generally the Tigers were organised into. Though some would actually be part of other sort of types of units, some were actually part of the divisions themselves occasionally, and others were actually part of remote control units for controlling Goliaths and their bigger brothers, the Borgward 4B. So they weren't just in a heavy tank battalion, but that's where they primarily were. In fact, the Panzerlehr division in Normandy had a bunch of Tigers, including one older model King Tiger attached to it through such radio control units. Panzer IV, they're gaining virtually 2 PMs we need to get away there. In the south, Tiger breaches through the hedges, opening up the path for the infantry if necessary, but finds no Russians to deal with. Betty 2 for the Panther 4, by the way, adding Schürzen. Mark once again in HD5 to help deal with the Tiger, then mortar fire laying down. We can actually see he's bunching up a lot of his stuff there. Got flares off to further make it easier there for Chessmaster to defend flight targets and murder them. T-34 moving up there, shoots, misses. Veterans 1 now, both T-34s. Tiger moving up there, pull back the T-34 pretty quickly. Pack 40 is up north, they could do a bit of reinforcement. Tiger takes a hit there, Veterans 1 from the Pack 40. Strafing bombing run there, goes out, takes out the mortar crew, almost gets the Maxim. Pack 44 to fall back there. Anti-tank Panzer trying to catch the Tiger, don't quite succeed. And Panzergrenadiers are pulling off. Pretty risky move there in front of the T-34, but nonetheless managed to silence the Pack 40. Good work there by Icemanjoker, though highly risky. Capturing the area here as well, could lay down some mines. He's got a lot of munitions, I mean he could easily lay down a bunch of mines with his partisans, which would I think certainly slow down the Icemanjoker here and there. T-34's need repairs, he's only got 1 engineer squad to do that. And he should definitely begin setting up for the Su-85 medium tank destroyer. Tiger there firing away with his 88mm gun. Pack 40 blasting away, wrecking the other Pack 40, denying it to Chessmaster there. Good work by Iceman. Partisan about to get wiped. That might have actually been the unit with the stolen MG42. That would have been pretty harsh there for him to lose. In the south, Panther 4 almost good to go. 29 kills in service of Das Vaterland. Tiger there lands a good hit with its 88mm gun. Nothing further there going on in Icemanjoker's base. He's still got a sizable force there. Panther 4 advancing, repaired up here by the Pioneers, possibly even. And there you go, H-85 tank destroy on the way for Chess Master. Straight into the Panther 4, machine guns and main guns blazing. And Petrov stumbles over dead. 100 points left here for Chess Master, not too good there versus Icemanjoker. Panzer Grenadiers moving about.
Forces capturing supply sector.
Grenadiers heading northwards. Panzer Grenadiers standing about here ready to deal with any troops. Got more Grenadiers here. And there we go, Maxim hidden up here in a small shed dealing with the Grenadiers there. In which case there goes dispatching the Panther Grenadiers here from the Overwatch position. They try to move up here and then passing to get behind the Maxim, dealing with it that way. D-34 there moving slightly ahead. H-85 almost done. There we go. Out for Chess Master and the 20th tank caught up north there. Grenadiers being sawed to bits by the Maxim. Just buying time there for the Panther to get close to them. In theory, he doesn't need to take that big of an arc. There's no window there, but it looks like he spotted it nonetheless. Tries to get out, but it might be too late already. And there you go. Sent running. T-34 dispatched. Other T-34 good to go. H-5 holding back alongside a lot of troops there back at Chess Master's base. Tigers there being repaired upon. Grenadiers need to retreat. Panzer Grenadiers in a bit of trouble as well here. T-34 gaining Vetchi to increase rate of fire. There we go. All of Icemanjoker's northern troops are sent running. They're not quite back to Berlin. H-5 moves up. Needs to be careful there. And quickly spots out the Tiger. Shoots and bounces off the 1mm thick armour. Kruppsteel. Second shot though on the other hand penetrates. Up here T-34 versus Grenadiers, gunning them down, close to 52 as well. Another penetrating hit on the Tiger. He could consider using marked vehicle, which would increase the damage done per shot, which would not be a bad idea. Would certainly take out the Tiger a bit faster. And certainly force it to fall back sooner. But again, Chess Master is not making that much great use of his munitions, which does seem to be a problem with some players. They can just build up a huge sort of load of munitions and not use them in anything that could otherwise help them. I mean, Spy Network damage to quickly found out good flanking paths, for example. And he's yet to upgrade his engineers with minesweepers or flamethrowers. More Grenadiers here for Icemanjoker to replace losses, not say more Panzer Grenadiers. Tiger down to half health here. 48 points left here. Chess Master needs to do something a bit more aggressively. Again, he's been way too passive for too long. And there you go, Penal troops attacking here. Not more elements. We've got T-34 slowly moving about there. Penal troops getting the Tiger from head on. Pretty aggressive. We got Ura there, which the Penal troops can do advantage to. Catching a lot of units off guard. Tank shots need to get moving in, but he's slowly moving there. He's not really getting it all in as fast as he can here. Much too sluggish an assault, much too sluggish an assault there by Chess Master. But really, waiting that late to get all the tanks in support the infantry, I think it's way too late. There you go, Panther 4 taking hits from the Panther 6 and H-5. Partisan being pushed back. T-34 still not pushing in. Set in with Panther going to just flank in with Panther 6. There you go, wipes half the unit. Tiger there. Push the H-5 forwards. Attack move, man. Panther was sent running. Need to get the tanks moving in. They've got another tank Panther squad here driving. Quick grenade, anti-tank Panther squad number 2 moving up. Why he's not got the other one moving? Oh, of course, there's a pack 40 in the way, but again, if you had more elements attacking properly, this would have worked better for him. Instead, it's sort of just, happening sort of halfway there. And of course, now it's lost the chances to maybe get a finishing hit on the Tiger. Instead, now just needs to take hits from the pack 40 and the Panther Fausts. He's going to lose that one. Almost got the Grenadiers. H-5 somehow still alive due to the pack 40 missing. And again, note, he doesn't rush in the T-34 until the H-5 is about first is dead. Again, for an assault there, it was very staggered, very awkwardly carried out there by Chess Master. Which is really a bit, embarrassing for someone calling himself Chess Master. Telemine there, dudded off. That's pretty unlucky there for Icemanjoker. But still he's been able to pull back his Tiger tank from the front. His Panther 4 is almost in good condition again. He finally pops marked vehicle, but at this stage it feels a bit lazy or something, more desperate, panicky than, actual good sense. Because we could have popped that on the Tiger much earlier and probably have knocked this one out by now. T-Fed about to get knocked out here by Panther 6. Troops slightly reinforced there, but not at all. Penal troops finally following up there as part of the second wave there. Maxim in from the north. Again, it's like, slowly he sort of gets all together. But the problem is, he's already taking too much damage and the players should really be able to, take full advantage of. In the meanwhile, Icemanjoker is getting ready for the counter-attack, and his Panther Force almost ventured to flee. Maximum there getting blasted by the Panther Force close. Mortifier there pushing back the Maxim crew. MB-42 they eventually flee, by the way. Back at base, nothing further going on there for Chess Master, except usual healing and reinforcement. Preparing for battle. Fixing up the Tiger there, which is itself virtually won with 19 kills. We got air reconnaissance here from Icemanjoker, further allowed to assess the battlefield and of course decide where to strike and if to strike. Another HD5 there for Chess Master. Not by way going for the victory point, despite being at 27. He's not doing much that sort of fully sort of fortifies chances there. Fumes was taking blasted with the Panther 4. 40 kills on that one. Really doing good work there for Germany. Might get a wipe there. Almost, but not quite. Up north, Gunners is securing the victory point there in the centre. Penal troops holding back the Gunners for light machine guns and submachine guns. HD5 halfway done. T-54 is loading repaired. He needs more, and again, he's just got so much munitions he's doing absolutely nothing with. Gunners with the Panther, we'll try and rush them with a grenade, but it's not. Instead, we've got the Panther 4 now ramming to further cause problems there for Chess Master. Almost got a unit there wiped. Tiger is more or less good to go. HD5 is done, but will it be having actual impact at this stage for Chess Master? Panzer going to be rushing forward with Panther. He's got the Gunners as well with one. Panther Jägers then taking losses. Being crushed here slowly and shot to bits. Almost put in on that T-34. Still not dealing with the victory point at all here. We're down to 18. Double Maxims here. Panther 4 moving centralwards. We've got the Tiger on the prowl again. HU5 slowly moving ahead there, lumbering forwards for Chess Master. Like a patient hunter. The problem is he doesn't need a patient hunter at this point. He needs something to decisively deliver some good blows there to Icemanjoker. Field shooting up behind here, the Panther 4, but without anti-tank weapons. There we go, we actually got Venture V for the Panther 4. We got an ace at 49 kills. Quite impressive work there for Icemanjoker. Up north, Pioneer's a bit of trouble, but we're at 7 points now left. He's only got one victory point left. The problem is, unless he does something really drastic now, it's going to be too late. Still hasn't recruited the mortar at all. He could have used that for some doing that attack here. Again, the smoke screen coming up. The assault could allow him again to bypass a lot of Icemanjoker stuff there and do a lot more damage, but go figure. In the end, though, victory there for Icemanjoker. I think we all kept a more sort of fluid mentality, more maneuver, more flanking there compared to Chess Master. Again, I think, had an initial good start. Problem is he went way too defensive too quickly, just began digging in around points that really, I think, weren't sustainable. And then, when he finally then pulled off an attack again, it was just too staggered. It didn't, have all the elements quickly going in. They didn't have enough force. And again, it could have used his mortar of lessen the incoming fire from Icemanjoker. And even then, he could have just got some mitres, cleared the path there in flanks, and then tried to launch a further assault on the flanks instead of head on. Overall, Chess Master, I guess, was too, rigid. In that sense, I suppose, Chess Master feels, appropriate, too rigid thinking, if you will, too static, and, not enough mobility and fluidity there going on, which will allow Icemanjoker, I think, sort of slowly but surely position him into a position where we could just, bleed him out of victory points quite nicely. So, really, had Chess Master possessed a more aggressive, flexible, and fluid mind there, I think it would beaten Icemanjoker at several points here. So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. If not, send in reply and some feedback in the comment section. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you tomorrow for another exciting episode. Cheers.